I just want to welcome you guys all here to FXD. It's our second conference, second version of FXD here, and we're excited about the day we have ahead, so thanks for being here. One sort of administrative note to get started. If you could all, we have some polling technology that we incorporated this year. And I know it's not a huge group, but the idea of this polling technology is that you can, as a collective group, kind of vote on the quality of some of the questions coming in. So if you could take out your cell phone and go to the URL here, fxdconf.com/Q. You'll see the ability there to answer questions. So use that throughout the day, and you'll be able to, like I said, put questions in, vote them up, and then we're going to feed those to the presenters, and it'll be great. So thank you. Thank you all to the ones that came yesterday for the workshops. We had some workshops pre-forum. It was really great, and just appreciate you guys being here, the ones that could make it to that, so thanks. I want to get us started. Also want to welcome the folks from out of town. There's some out-of-towners here today. Boston, great venue for this. We got a great backdrop here. Hope you appreciate the city if you're not from here. And hopefully you get a chance to see the city a little bit. Boston's a home of many financial firsts, so I think a good venue to talk about financial services. And I don't know how that got in there, but sorry about that. Anyone who's from the West Coast, yeah, we love our sports here in Boston, definitely. I want to talk a little bit about MadPow, just so you get a sense to know who we are if you don't already know who we are. Design for Change is sort of the way we talk about what we're aiming to do. We're very purpose-driven. We're a design agency, obviously. And about 80 people, 2 offices, Boston and Portsmouth. And we do fun things like this. We do a financial services event, FXD. We also do a healthcare event, HXD. And for us, this is a big opportunity just to get people like you all together, talking to each other. And that's really our motivation there. Talk about big themes, and that's really what we have on tap for today. This also is a program, Adam used the word mastermind. I'm not necessarily comfortable with that, but I do put together the program here, and there is some intention and design. Really what the idea here is that we do a strong program one day, highly curated, some really great speakers, a lot of topics that are relevant to insurance and wealth management and fintech and retail banking, really to help you guys kind of get inspired, meet each other, talk about big things that you're wrestling with and dealing with, so that you can go back to your job after an impactful one day and be renewed vigor to make change. So we're, like I said, looking forward to today. I want to set a little bit of the tone for today because there's, like I said, a lot of various topics that we're going to explore. I know a lot of folks are talking about digital transformation. A lot of folks in this room are responsible for digital transformation initiatives, and what I want to acknowledge is that that's hard. That's very hard to do in financial services, especially. And it's going to require you guys to start challenging some of the product-centric way you're thinking about your business. I see this with our clients from insurance to retail banking and wealth management and so on. Customers aren't thinking in terms of umbrella or HELOC. They're thinking in terms of the challenges that they're trying to solve. And so I just want to remind ourselves that that's really hard for companies to do when they've got an 80-year track record of talking about products. So this is going to be a bit of a tone here today that you're going to hear. I also want to talk about the fact that matters of money are tricky. They're loaded with emotion, and people don't. Not everyone likes to talk about it. So when we, MadPow, are talking about user-centered design, we're talking about designing for the customer. The challenge is that some of those customers don't want to talk about it. So you have to find methods to discover kind of what their needs are in a way that is authentic and helpful. So that will be a theme today. And I think also, despite the recovered economy, it's funny timing here because yesterday actually I was walking out the back here and looked at the TV and saw, I think, a line that was going somewhere this direction. Stock market took quite a beating yesterday. Despite that, we have reports of a recovered economy. I know unemployment is at an all-time low, but there's still challenges out there. Specifically, there's this slide could have been full of lots of stats, but a couple that jumped out at me is around retirement savings specifically, that those that are entering that age group and getting ready for retirement, many of them haven't saved. So that's a major strain and something that you need to consider when you're thinking about retirement solutions. Also, credit card debt is still a major problem. Student debt is also a problem. I could have highlighted here. Credit card debt was at an all-time high at the beginning of this year. So there's still challenges out there in the industry. And again, these are things that we need to consider when we're designing solutions. When we're asking customers to engage in purchase, we need to know that these factors exist, and we need to consider them and design around them. And then there's the human element, and this is the one that we really do enjoy talking about this. And we've got a great section in the agenda today where we talk about behavior change and how it can be applied to design in financial services. People are very tricky, and they'll surprise you. And the way the brain works is extremely interesting and needs to be a factor in your design. There's physiology that applies and also psychology. And we're going to we have a great panel focused on the psychology side of things and the ethics of designing around behavioral psychology. That's really going to be interesting to you folks. The point here is that we need to design for behaviors. And when you're designing for behaviors, you need to know how people think and how they work and how they tick. So hopefully you'll see that we've represented that well today. Behavior change is a little bit of a theme that you'll see running through the entire program today. So a lot of good stuff. We must be insane to do this. Did anyone remember Crazy Eddie? I think, all right, good. I didn't know if I was the only one that was going to know what this was. We have a lot to cover today. We've got some breaks spaced out pretty nicely. We call them energy breaks. They're also an opportunity for you to connect with each other. I mean, the point of this is not only to hear people speaking, but also to connect you all with each other. You're going to find peers doing what you do at another company, and we encourage you guys to connect in many of those breaks. We also have a cocktail hour at the end of the day today for about an hour where we can get together and talk about what we learned today. So a lot to cover, but I do believe that there is an opportunity here to design and build motivating experiences that drive financial outcomes that are good for business and good for people, I should add there. So that's really what we want to talk about today, and we encourage your participation and hope you can filter in some great questions and feedback and so on. So with that, I'm going to introduce our first speaker. It is Jess Brown from Aspiration. They've been, I think they were called the best checking account in the country, and he's going to talk a little bit about Aspiration's approach and what they do. So Jess Brown, let's hear for him.